knives kind of thing. Obviously, they were from a different area as well.
And were you carrying a knife yourself at the time?
No.
And did you used to?
I've never carried a knife or a weapon in my life.
You heard what my guest had to say about why it is that people carry knives.
I think, in general, the first thing that I would think of is protection. The reason why most of these kids carry the knives is out of protection. I mean, I've grown up in an area where it's all full of gang culture.
This is Willesden you're talking about?
This is Willesden, Church Road.
Right.
I've grown up, like, it's got a lot of gang culture, and even our surrounding areas, there's other surrounding gangs and stuff who have problems with the gang in our area.
Right.
So there's always been restrictions of going to certain places, like, there's a gang that we got a problem with just up the road from us, and we can't even go there.
Where? Kilburn? Where is it?
No, just up the road. It's just
still in Willesden.
It's still in Willesden, just up the 5-minute walk. It's not even a big walk.
There's a gang 5 minutes up the road, still in Willesden.
Yeah, and it's.
Okay, if I tell you, my mum grew up in Willesden, right?
Yeah.
Dobery Avenue, Willesden.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really know Willesden. That's where my grandma lived. We were there almost every day. My mum literally lived her whole life there till she married my dad. Willesden is incredibly familiar to me.
Yeah.
And the idea of Willesden as a sort of hub of gang culture, so frightening that you literally can't walk up the road from one end of the road to the other, is quite amazing to people who will have lived their whole lives in Willesden and not even be aware of it. They won't know.
I mean, nowadays, I think you have to be aware of it, even if you're not involved in these kind of things. You have to be aware.
What happens if you're not?
It's been proven from time to time again. Last year there was 2 innocent boys. Last year there was 2 innocent boys that got killed in Church Road.
Yeah.
Kamari is the third boy that's from Church Road that has been killed recently.
Right.
One of the boys was actually my close friend. I saw him die in front of me, and he was innocent. And even the boy before that, Oliver Tetlow, I don't know if you heard about that as well. Even he was an innocent person that got killed. So I realised that a lot of the innocent people who don't know what's going on are getting caught up in it, because when these so-called gang members are coming around the area with their guns and their knives, the innocent ones are the ones that don't know about it, because the gang members are the ones telling all the gang members stay indoors, and the innocent ones don't know anything about it. So I feel like the innocent ones have to be clued onto it more nowadays, because anyone can get hurt, anyone can get caught up in this.
I mean, you know what you're saying, obviously completely horrifying. So I'm sitting in a room with 2 people who've seen their very good friends killed in front of them at the most ridiculously young age. So to you, this isn't something that we're just like, oh, this is another news story. What do we do about knife crime? It's not that. This is your actual daily life. This is what you're facing on a daily basis. So do you have any idea about how to help or how to stop it?
I personally think it's the education system, and we need to do something about the education system.
What?
I personally believe that teaching kids between year 3 to year 6, I think teaching them maths, English is irrelevant. It's not going to teach them much. I think teaching them personal life skills is better.
Which is like what?
Which is like how to actually deal with people on a day-to-day basis. How to actually be
But
sociable.
you heard Joshua say, all of this, study this and don't do this. This is all very well, but it's all long term. It's a kind of middle class thing. You hang on until you're 22, and then maybe you might make the beginning of a decent salary. But it's a long time to hang in all the way through GCSEs and A levels and college and university and trying to get the job. It's long, and Joshua's saying it's too long. It's too long. You can't. And also that lovely caller Fruitful, and also Amira and Dakisha saying you might want to help your mum if it's a single mum, or even your mum and dad. You might want to help them out right now. You might think, I can't wait till I'm 22 or 3 to get a job. It's too much of a long haul, and I can't hang in. I've got to do it now. And who can I see that's making a good living? It's that guy over there. It's that guy in the gang. It's the drug dealer. Of
course, and that's the problem. I think if we had other leaders in our area other than just drug dealers, because that's all we see growing up.
Do you see lots of that?
Of course, we see loads of drug dealers. Where I grew up, there's drug dealers. It's like a Toys R Us for drugs in our area. Right. It's like a big market.
Oh my God!
Literally, there's so many drug dealers in our area that it's unbelievable. You wouldn't even think that. You look at someone and think that person's even a drug dealer.
And let's be real about this. They're not all driving around in fabulous cars with a gorgeous baby on their arm, are they? Most of them are not at all, are they?
No, of course, some of them.
They're not.
The thing is, one thing we forget to realise is that we're not actually the ones. If I'm out here selling drugs, I'm not actually making the large amount of income.
You're being played by some big business guy somewhere else.
There's always someone else living out of the country or out of London that's got a massive house, and he's selling to inner city communities and stuff like that.
That's right.
I mean, growing up and stuff, I had a lot of friends that their parents were single parents, struggling, that kind of stuff. Now imagine growing up and going to school, and the night before, because your parents didn't have enough money, there's no heating in the house. Yeah. And now imagine that, and on top of that, opening your fridge and seeing that bright white light at the back of your fridge because there's no food in the fridge.
Yeah.
So now imagine going to sleep with no heating, no food in the fridge, and then waking up in the morning and having to go to school. First of all, your mind, as a child, your mind's not going to be working. Even in my school, I used to go to school and see kids sleeping for the school, like the class and stuff. They used to come and ask people that they knew for some of their lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
There's always that one kid, and that same kid ends up not being accepted in school because he's always like his brain's not functioning properly, him or her. They end up bunking school. That happens a lot. And then the only other option they have is to hang around on the street corners. And when they hang around on the street corners, the only thing they're going to get is what's out there.
And there are people listening saying, hang on a minute, we have a welfare state in this country. There shouldn't be anyone who doesn't have anything to eat. There literally should not. I know there should is a big word, I get that, but there shouldn't be anyone with no food. There shouldn't. We've got free school meals, we've got free school, we've got benefit, we've got social workers and doctors, we've got all that sort of stuff in place. And so there shouldn't be anyone who opens a fridge and there's literally nothing in it and they haven't had any food.
But unfortunately there is, because of the fact that sometimes the kids don't get that money. A lot of the time, sometimes, I'm not saying that every parent is on drugs or is doing something bad, but sometimes the parents can also be addicted to some sort of substance, whether it be alcohol, drugs, anything, where they're looking after themselves, they put their need before their kids, kind of thing.
And some people listening to this will be thinking, in the case of that child that you've just described, and I must say my own daughter's a teacher, so I am pretty much aware of kids showing up at school. They haven't had any breakfast, they haven't had any dinner. I am aware that they've been up all night. There are tiny little kids watching, horrible videos with older siblings, and nobody's been supporting them. I know about this on a pretty much a daily basis, actually. And some people will be thinking, Joshua and Keisha and Amina, that this is so bad. And it's inside people's actual homes. It's right in the kitchen, it's in the bedroom, it's in your home. And they'll be thinking, how can the government get inside every individual home of all these families that you've called, haven't you, traumatised families and dysfunctional families, and so have you? How, even if we were the richest country in the world and we had endless money, which as you know we don't, but even if we did, how could the government get inside those bedrooms and kitchens and nurture those kids and make sure they had a good dinner and make sure they felt safe and make sure they could do their work at school? How is that even going to be possible?
Can I suggest something?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I went to this, before I suggest what I suggest, I went to this event, the Brent Council, they did this event a few weeks ago, and it was talking about gun crime, knife crime in the local, what's going on in the area. In that event, I saw very minimal young people.
Yeah.
I did not hear about that. I only heard about that event through my auntie and through my friend here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known about that event. There was no promotion of that event.
Right.
There was no no young person saw that event online, and it was in our local area. It was in Roundwood. It was just
so not enough has been
not
done
enough,
to bring it home.
not
Let's bring Linda in. She's on the line. She's in Boreham Wood, and she's a mum to 3 boys. Hi, Linda. Morning. Of course. Yeah. Mm.
And I think what you're doing today is so much more of this because it helps families understand why people do what they do, how hard it is out there for these families. Fortunately for me, I've got two of my sons are still struggling, my 2 elder ones, and my younger one is not. And I sometimes wonder if that's because when I moved out of the area from London to Hertfordshire,
Yeah.